Welcome at this symposium celebrating the 15th birthday of VIB. My name is Peter Rijmakers, and today I will be your host, your guiding host, who will guide you as the audience and the speakers through the very exciting program of this symposium. You might have expected a famous face or a famous voice here. Well, I have to disappoint you, because all the famous faces and voices, especially those one of journalists, they are camping right now in the headquarters of Dexia, or they are currently stuck in the pit lane next to the Wedstraat, now that Elio Di Rupo is struggling towards the finish line. So I'm sorry, but you have to do with me. My face might not be a famous one, but I hope that at least for some of you, it is a familiar one. In any case, for me, as being a former employee of VIB, it is absolutely an honor to take part in this historical event. Now, for most organizations, celebrating a 15th anniversary usually means looking backwards, looking at what has been accomplished. But that's not how VIB celebrates its anniversaries. Celebrating 15 years of life science means for VIB that we have come 15 years closer to the future. And today, what we will do is actually look backwards and find out how we can tackle the challenges that lie ahead of us. How we will do that today? Well, let me hand over the microphone to Jo Bury, Director of VIB, who will explain you what this day is all about. Jo?
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. And we didn't realize 15 years ago when we started that we would be standing here and celebrate this fantastic day. So I will look back a little bit, and more precisely to 17 years ago. Rudy and I were, in those days, the operational directors of what was called VLAP, the Flanders Action Program of Biotechnology in Flanders. And on a date, it was January 2004, we were called by the Prime Minister of the Flanders government of those days, Luc van den Brande, to come to his cabinet because he wanted to share with us his vision on where he wanted to go with Flanders. He was also the Minister of Economy and the Minister of Innovation. And he was just back from a trip to the US and Canada where he was seeing that these scientists were able to translate their knowledge into an economy, into welfare and well-being for the public, creating new molecules, new drugs, new crops based on their science. He also saw that he was in the presence of a couple of our scientists, and he saw that our scientists were well received there. And he said, what we have in Flanders with the life science scientists, we could do as well as they do. And so he shared with us his excitement, and he said, make us a plan that we can do the same here. It was basically based on the reputation of people to whom I would like to dedicate this symposium. Walter Fiers, Mark van Montagu, Joël van de Kerkhove, Desiree Collen, Herman van den Berge, Raymond Hamers. These were the people on whose shoulders this new institute was founded. He also saw the early companies of those days, InnoGenetics and Plant Genetic Systems, that came out of their science. And he said, this is really the basis. He was really excited about this, and so with a couple of people, we wrote out a plan to create an institution for life sciences. We called it biotechnology because that was the word that the politicians know in those days. And that was really the beginning. We started with a budget of 22 million euros a year. Now, in the meantime, 15 years later, that has been increased after 3 reviews to 37.5 million euros. We are 1,250 people in VIB, 72 research groups that I think are at the excellence level where we wanted to be with VIB. So we are very happy, very proud that we are here today. So we are here today also to celebrate the end of the evaluation of VIB. That was the plan, and the plan worked. So we finished our 3rd review. We have been looking at the reports that we have received, massive reports in the meantime, You all went through this exercise, which started in September last year. All groups were reviewed, all departments were reviewed, also headquarters were reviewed on the different parts of what we do. And I can tell you that the report that we received was really very positive. It was really smashing. And we were very glad to read how the different panels and review committees that reviewed the institution were so excited about where we are and what we do. So basically, that report is, of course, based on your creativity, your science, what you have been doing, all your efforts over the last 5 years more specifically, which ended up in the result we could show them. We are so proud on this. And therefore, we want to dedicate also this symposium to all of you that contributed to realize where we are today. So, of course, now it's important to come to a new management agreement with the government. The current management agreement is ending at the end of this year, so we urge to get a new agreement. We will get one. And, of course, there the most important things are the new key performance indicators and the new budget. I think, well, there is hope to increase the budget. We have revised the plan with the management committee and the directors of the departments and the board of directors to get a little bit more money from the government to do what we want to do and realize our plans. The least we want to go to is to get back where we ever were, to the 40 million grant of VIB and hopefully a little bit more. It would definitely fit into the ambition of the government to put Flanders as a region on the top of Europe in a couple of technologies, and life sciences is definitely one of them. So we have challenged Ingrid Lieten to come to this symposium for the keynote lecture, which she accepted. She realized that the deadline was very sharp to come to a conclusion with the government on our budget for the future, but she accepted. She will be here tonight. We know that she has been gathering with the Flanders government last Friday. She didn't disclose much of that, but she accepted to come. There is hope. I think we deserve an increase. Of course, we have to realize that these are times of financial crisis, economical crisis, and that the budgets are limited. So we have to manage the expectations. Just to mention you, I'm just back from the Netherlands where I was involved in the review of the Netherlands Genomics Initiative, and there it's an absolute disaster. So I hope we can do better. It's not a disaster in terms of science, but in terms of science budget. NGI will be stopped. So that's really amazing. Now, I think, as Peter said, we don't have to look too much back to the past. I think we have to look to the future. So we have invited a lineup of speakers that we have involved also in realizing a book for this celebration, which we will disclose later tonight. We have a lineup of speakers of absolute top excellence. Some of them have been involved in starting new institutions, like the Whitehead, and soon, within some months from now, the new Crick Institute in London. We are so very pleased with these people. They represent basically a number of the most important research teams of where VIB is active. We couldn't have them all. They will, of course, all be in the book, which we will present to you tonight. And I think we are looking forward to a fantastic meeting. These people will excite you with their science, and they bring you closer to the future. Thank you.